There's a moment in everyone's journey of manifestation when effort stops working. You've visualized, affirmed, written, and prayed, but nothing seems to move. It's as if the universe suddenly goes silent and all your actions dissolve into stillness. That moment is not a punishment, it's an invitation. It's the sacred threshold between creation and surrender, the invisible line where your desire must pass from your hands into the hands of the divine. But most people never cross that line. They hold on tightly, afraid that if they let go, everything will fall apart. Yet the truth is, the more you try to control your manifestation, the further it drifts away. Control is the language of fear. Surrender is the language of faith, and the universe understands only one of them. When you try to control every outcome, you send a message to life that says, "I don't trust you." When you worry, chase, and doubt, you are vibrating in the frequency of lack, even if your words sound positive. Because energy doesn't listen to words, it listens to emotions. And fear, even when disguised as effort, is still fear. Imagine trying to grow a flower by constantly digging up the seed to check if it's growing. No matter how much love you have for that seed, your interference prevents it from sprouting. The soil doesn't need your control, it needs your trust. The same law applies to manifestation. When you plant an intention, the universe begins to rearrange energies and timelines to bring it to life. Your role is to tend to your vibration, not to the process. But many people lose patience before the roots even form. They start asking, "Where is it? Why isn't it here yet?" That question carries the energy of doubt, and doubt collapses creation. The truth is, you can't manifest from anxiety. You can only manifest from alignment. And alignment happens in surrender, in that deep, quiet knowing that says it's already done. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means stepping aside and allowing the natural intelligence of the universe to finish what you started. It means trusting the divine timing that knows exactly when the fruit is ripe. But our minds hate surrender. They've been trained to equate control with safety. We are taught to plan, to strive, to push, to make things happen, and that conditioning runs deep. The ego believes that if it doesn't control everything, it will lose everything. So it clings, tightens, resists, and that resistance becomes a wall between you and your manifestation. Let's understand this energetically. Every desire you have already exists in the quantum field. It's not something you need to create, but something you must align with. Your job is to match the frequency of that desire, not to chase it. But when you hold on tightly, you emit the vibration of, "It's not here." You affirm lack instead of abundance. You block the flow that's trying to reach you. The energy of control says, "I don't believe it will happen unless I make it happen." The energy of surrender says, "I trust that it's already unfolding perfectly." One contracts, the other expands. One limits, the other allows. One vibrates in fear, the other in faith. When you truly surrender, you stop sending mixed signals to the universe. Your energy becomes clear, coherent, and magnetic. You stop fighting against the current and allow the river to carry you exactly where you were meant to go. Think about every great miracle that's ever happened in your life. Did it come when you were desperate and pushing, or when you finally released the weight, exhaled and said, "Okay, I trust"? Miracles are born in the space of release. The moment you stop grasping, energy begins to flow again. The universe cannot fill hands that are clenched. It can only give to those who open, who allow, who trust. Let's be honest. Surrender feels uncomfortable at first because it's the opposite of what the mind was trained to do. It's the ego's greatest fear, not being in control. But spiritual growth always begins where comfort ends. Surrender is the final stage of manifestation, the phase where your human effort gives way to divine orchestration. This is where real mastery begins. Because manifestation isn't just about creating things, it's about transforming who you become in the process. The more you surrender, the more you realize that you never needed to control anything. You were never alone. You were never off track. You were always being guided. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment was not rejection, but redirection. What if the universe is never late, but perfectly precise? What if what you call waiting is actually alignment? And what if your manifestations are not missing? They're maturing. The moment you release control, you release resistance. And when resistance dissolves, manifestation accelerates, because the only thing that ever delays your desires is your attachment to them. Surrender is the art of saying, I trust the unseen. I trust divine timing. I trust myself. When you say those words with conviction, you activate a different energy, one that draws everything you desire effortlessly toward you. Because trust is the highest frequency of manifestation. This is the paradox. When you stop chasing what you want, it starts chasing you. When you stop forcing outcomes, life begins to flow in your favor. When you stop asking how, the how reveals itself. Surrender doesn't make you powerless, it makes you aligned. It turns effort into flow and waiting into preparation. There's a peace that comes when you finally realize that your role was never to control the details, but to trust the direction. That's where real power lives, not in control, but in communion with the flow of life. So as we move deeper into this journey, remember this truth. You are not being tested. You are being taught to trust the delay, to trust the silence, to trust that what's meant for you is not gone. It's simply aligning with your readiness. Take a deep breath, release the tension from your shoulders. Whisper softly, I surrender, I trust, I allow. And in that moment, you'll feel it. The energy begin to move again, the lightness returning to your heart, the quiet certainty that you are exactly where you need to be. Because manifestation doesn't happen when you finally get what you want. It happens when you finally let go enough to receive it. To understand the power of surrender, you must understand what happens both energetically and biologically when you let go. This is where science meets spirit, where your nervous system becomes a bridge between your human experience and your divine vibration. Let's begin with energy. Everything in the universe vibrates, from galaxies to your thoughts. Each emotion you feel emits a specific frequency. Fear vibrates low, fast, and chaotic. Faith vibrates high, smooth, and coherent. When you are in fear, your energy contracts, like a clenched fist, like shallow breathing. When you are in faith, your energy expands, like open arms, like sunlight on still water. That expansion is not poetic, it's measurable. Quantum physics shows that the observer, your consciousness, affects the behavior of energy. The more you focus on lack, the more the energy of lack organizes itself around you. The more you rest in trust, the more order and flow emerge. When you let go, you don't lose control. You change dimension. You move from the frequency of forcing to the frequency of flowing. And the universe responds immediately to that shift. It doesn't respond to need, it responds to resonance. Faith is not believing that something will happen. It's knowing that it already exists and aligning yourself with it. That knowing sends a clear, stable vibration into the field, one that says, I am ready, I am open, I am in harmony with what I desire. And when your vibration becomes clear, everything that matches it starts finding you. People, opportunities, synchronicities. It's not coincidence, it's coherence. Now let's look at this from the perspective of your body and brain. When you are trying to control life, your body lives in a state of alert. The mind enters survival mode, cortisol rises, your heartbeat speeds up, your breathing becomes shallow. You send signals to your subconscious that the world is unsafe, that there is something missing, that you must fight to survive. This is the biology of fear. And manifestation cannot happen in survival mode. Creation requires safety, an open nervous system, a relaxed heart. When you practice surrender, you deactivate that fight-or-flight state. You move from stress to trust, from contraction to expansion. Your parasympathetic system, the body's natural state of healing, activates. Your heartbeat slows, your breath deepens, and your brain begins to produce alpha and theta waves, the same frequencies found in deep meditation. These are the frequencies where the subconscious mind is most receptive. That's why manifestations accelerate when you feel peace, because peace opens the channel of creation. The spiritual masters knew this long before neuroscience confirmed it. They taught that surrender is not weakness but alignment, a merging of personal will with divine intelligence. When you let go of how things should happen, you create space for how they are meant to happen. The ego says, "I'll believe it when I see it." The spirit says, "I'll see it when I believe it." That is the energetic law of manifestation. Faith reorganizes energy because it reorders your vibration. You become a tuning fork for what you desire. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer question, you allow. You no longer vibrate with doubt, you radiate trust. And something miraculous happens when that shift takes root. Your desires stop feeling distant. They stop existing as something out there and start feeling like something already within you. That's the moment manifestation becomes effortless. But here's the paradox that confuses most people. Surrender and action are not opposites. Surrender does not mean doing nothing. It means doing what feels aligned, not what feels forced. When you are aligned, your actions are inspired, not anxious. You move because you are guided, not because you are afraid. You make decisions from intuition, not from desperation. The difference between control and surrender lies not in what you do, but in the energy behind what you do. Imagine this. Two people have the same dream. One hustles endlessly, afraid it won't happen. The other takes calm, intentional steps, knowing it's already unfolding. From the outside, both are working, but energetically, they are worlds apart. One is manifesting from fear, the other from faith. The first exhausts energy trying to bend reality. The second becomes magnetic because she vibrates with it. When you surrender, you become that second person. You trust your timing. You move when your intuition whispers, not when your fear screams. You know that what's meant for you cannot miss you, and what misses you was never meant for you. There's profound power in that peace, because peace is not passive. Peace is presence. Peace is what allows divine intelligence to flow through you unblocked. The more you let go, the more guidance you receive. It's like tuning a radio. When there's static, you can't hear the signal. Surrender clears the static. Faith tunes you in. Then suddenly, you hear the song that was always playing, the melody of your higher path. Spiritually, this is what the mystics meant by non-resistance. You stop fighting life and start dancing with it. You stop asking why and start saying thank you. Because even when you don't understand the reason, you trust the rhythm. Faith doesn't promise that everything will go your way. It promises that everything will go the right way. The universe doesn't operate on your schedule, it operates on your vibration. So instead of asking when, ask who. Who do I need to become to align with what I've asked for? That's the question that changes everything, because manifestation isn't about convincing the universe to give you something. It's about becoming the version of you that naturally lives in that reality. When you are in that vibration, you no longer need to prove, chase, or control. You simply live in alignment, and alignment magnetizes everything. So the next time you find yourself doubting, pause, take a breath. Remind yourself that the universe has never failed to rise with the sun, to change the seasons, to bring breath into your lungs. The same intelligence that turns darkness into dawn is guiding your path. It knows the timing, it knows the sequence, it knows the route that your mind cannot yet see. Your job is to hold faith long enough for the unseen to become seen, because energy moves at the speed of belief. And when belief turns into knowing, the universe bends to meet it. Letting go is not something you think about doing. It's something you feel your way into. It's not an intellectual act. It's an energetic one. It happens in the body before it happens in the mind. Because your energy field, your emotions, your breath, your nervous system is the bridge through which surrender truly occurs. When most people hear "let go," they imagine sitting still and trying to stop caring. But surrender is not apathy. It's not detachment in the cold sense of "I don't care anymore." It's the opposite. It's caring so much that you're willing to trust the divine more than your fear. It's the ultimate form of love, love that says, "I release my will so that a higher will can unfold through me." The sacred act of release begins with awareness. You can't let go of what you don't see yourself holding. So first, you must recognize where you're gripping life too tightly. Ask yourself, where am I forcing outcomes? Where am I trying to make something happen that no longer feels aligned? Where am I attached to timing, to validation, to being right? If you listen quietly, your body will tell you. Tension is always the signal of control. The shoulders that feel heavy, the chest that tightens, the breath that shortens, those are signs that your energy is trying to manage what it's meant to surrender. To release, begin with the breath. The breath is the soul's reset button. Inhale deeply, allowing your ribs to expand. Then exhale slowly, imagining all the gripping energy melting out of your body. Each breath teaches your nervous system what trust feels like. Each exhale is a rehearsal for surrender. When you breathe consciously, you communicate safety to your subconscious mind. You tell it, "We are not in danger. We can release." And the moment your body feels safe, your energy begins to flow again. The blocks that held your manifestations hostage start to dissolve. Now take this deeper, because release is not just physical, it's emotional. You must allow yourself to feel what's beneath your need for control. Fear, doubt, loss, uncertainty. When you let those emotions surface, not to indulge them, but to witness them, you liberate the energy that was trapped inside them. The emotion you refuse to feel becomes the resistance that delays your manifestation. But the emotion you face with compassion transforms into power. So instead of pushing feelings away, say softly, "I see you, I hear you, you're safe to leave now." Let the emotion move through you like a wave. It comes, it peaks, it passes. That's how energy releases. This process is sacred because it's honest. You're not pretending to be high vibration, you're clearing what lowers your vibration. You're not forcing positivity, you're freeing yourself into authenticity. Once you've allowed the emotion to pass, use forgiveness as your final key. Forgiveness is the frequency of release. It's not about condoning or forgetting, it's about unbinding. When you forgive, you cut the energetic cords that tie your spirit to old pain. You reclaim the energy that was stuck in resentment or regret. You say to life, "I free you, and I free myself." That's when you can feel your energy expanding again, like oxygen filling a room that was closed for too long. In that spaciousness, peace enters, and in peace, creation happens naturally. Now, let's connect this to the spiritual mechanics of manifestation. Every desire carries a vibration. When you are attached, your energy clings to that vibration with tension, and tension distorts it. Imagine trying to play a guitar string that's wound too tight. It snaps. Your energy does the same when attachment becomes pressure. The note of your intention becomes discordant. But when you relax, the vibration becomes pure, clean, resonant. The sound reaches the universe clearly. That's when manifestation flows. To let go energetically, you must learn the art of neutrality. Neutrality doesn't mean not caring, it means not fearing. It means you can desire deeply, but stay peaceful whether it happens today or a year from now. Because you know that timing is always perfect. When you are neutral, you become magnetic. Your vibration stops oscillating between hope and doubt. It becomes steady, confident, grounded in trust. That steadiness tells the universe, I'm ready to receive. And the universe always responds to readiness. You can practice this neutrality in simple moments throughout your day. When something delays, instead of reacting, breathe and whisper, I trust the timing. When someone disappoints you, whisper, I release them to their path, and I stay in my peace. B. When you feel anxious about your manifestation, place your hand over your heart and say, it's already unfolding. I don't need to rush what's divine. Each of these small acts rewires your subconscious towards surrender. They shift you from resistance to resonance. Here's something beautiful. Every time you let go, even just a little, you move closer to your manifestation, because the universe rushes in to fill the space that surrender creates. It's like unclenching your hand. The moment you open it, the blessings that were trying to reach you finally can. Letting go is an energetic permission slip. It tells the universe, you can move now, I'm not in the way. And life will always move. It was never still. Only your attachment made it seem that way. There's an ancient spiritual truth. The more you let go, the more you receive. Because letting go is not loss, it's alignment. It's what brings you back into harmony with the natural flow of abundance. So tonight, if you want to begin this sacred practice of release, here's a simple ritual. Sit quietly. Place your hand over your heart and breathe slowly. Imagine holding in your palm everything you're trying to control. People, plans, fears, outcomes. See them as light, not heavy objects. Now open your hand and watch that light rise upward, floating into the infinite sky. As it rises, repeat softly, I let go with love. I trust what's meant for me. I release what isn't. Stay in that silence for a moment. You'll feel an energetic shift, a subtle relief, a spacious calm. That is surrender. That is divine flow. The goal of letting go is not to get what you want faster. It's to become who you truly are, a soul that trusts the intelligence of creation. And when you live in that state, manifestation stops being a technique and becomes a lifestyle. You no longer ask for miracles, you live in them. You no longer search for signs, you become one. You no longer wait for proof, you are the proof. Because the energy that creates worlds has never left you. It simply waits for you to loosen your grip so it can move freely again. So breathe, trust, and let go, not once but again and again, until surrender becomes your natural state of being. That is where miracles reside, not in the effort, but in the allowing. Faith is not waiting for something to happen. Faith is living as if it already has. It's walking through the valley with peace in your heart because you know that the mountain is already yours. It's trusting that the invisible path beneath your feet is forming with every step you take. Divine timing is not a mystery to the soul. Your soul already knows the rhythm of its unfoldment. It's your mind that struggles, counting days and deadlines, measuring miracles by calendars and clocks. But the divine doesn't measure time, it measures readiness. Things don't arrive when you want them to, they arrive when you can hold them. Think about it. The universe is never late. The sun doesn't rise early, the tide doesn't rush the moon. Everything unfolds with precision, in perfect rhythm. You too are part of that rhythm. And the moment you stop fighting it, you begin to move with grace. Living in the flow of divine timing is learning to trust this rhythm, the sacred choreography between your desire and its manifestation. When you try to run ahead of it, you stumble. When you lag behind, you feel lost. But when you match its pace, life becomes effortless. Faith in motion is not passive. It's not waiting with your arms crossed, hoping something will happen. It's walking with openness, knowing that what is meant for you is already on its way. It's moving forward without tension, without desperation, guided by intuition and inner peace. When you live in that flow, every step becomes sacred, even the ones that seem uncertain, because faith is not the absence of fear. It's choosing trust in the presence of it. Faith says, I can't see the whole path, but I can see the next step, and that's enough. And as you take that step, another one appears. That's divine timing in action, the dance between your movement and the universe's response. It's like breathing. You inhale with intention, you exhale with surrender, you act, you trust, you plant, you release, you align, you allow. There's a wisdom in the pauses of life that many overlook. The waiting is not punishment, it's preparation. When nothing seems to be happening, everything is being arranged. The universe doesn't delay, it aligns. It organizes people, places, opportunities, and lessons in ways your mind could never calculate. Every moment of stillness is the soil where your manifestation matures in silence. But humans fear the stillness. We've been taught that progress means constant movement, visible proof, measurable results. Yet in the unseen realm, the opposite is true. The quieter you become, the faster energy organizes itself around you, because silence is not emptiness, it's alignment. It's in the stillness that the whisper of divine guidance can finally be heard. To live in flow is to listen. Listen not with your ears, but with your energy. You'll start to notice subtle nudges, the intuitive feeling to call someone, to pause, to take a different route, to say no when your fear says yes. These are not coincidences, they are coordinates. Each nudge is a step within divine timing. When you honor them, you move in sync with the higher plan. But faith in motion also requires humility, the willingness to accept when the path changes direction. Sometimes divine timing closes one door not to deny you, but to redirect you. It's the universe saying, that was the path for who you were, not for who you're becoming. If you can trust that redirection, you'll never feel lost. You'll feel guided. You see, faith doesn't eliminate challenges. It transforms how you walk through them. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin to ask, what is this teaching me? Every challenge becomes sacred training, preparing your energy for the reality you've asked for. You can't manifest peace from chaos or abundance from fear, so life rearranges you before it delivers your desires. When divine timing slows you down, it's not withholding, it's calibrating. It's aligning your energy with what you've asked to receive. Because you cannot attract what you are not vibrationally ready for. Think of it like tuning an instrument. You can't play the song of abundance while your strings are tuned to worry. Divine timing gives you moments to retune, to realign, to strengthen your vibration. It's grace disguised as delay. The ones who master manifestation are not those who control outcomes. They are those who trust timing. They've learned to smile when things don't go as planned because they know the reroute is divine. They don't chase, they flow. They don't resist, they allow. They walk through life as if every moment, even the detours, is sacred choreography. Living in faith means walking with open hands. When something leaves, you bless it. When something arrives, you receive it with gratitude. And when nothing moves, you rest, knowing that the universe is still working behind the curtain. This is how you enter the current of divine flow, through trust so deep that even silence feels like progress. And when you reach that state, you begin to feel a quiet power within you, a certainty that doesn't need evidence, a peace that doesn't need answers. That is alignment. That is faith in motion. When you live this way, life begins to mirror your inner state. Doors open at the right moment. Opportunities appear when you're ready. People cross your path with perfect timing. It feels like magic, but it's simply the law of resonance, the universe responding to your calm confidence. Remember this: divine timing doesn't move slower than you want. It moves at the speed of your readiness. Every time you surrender, you accelerate alignment. Every time you doubt, you delay it. So instead of asking for speed, ask for steadiness, because the steady heart always manifests faster than the restless one. When you can say with peace, "I trust my timing, I trust my process, I trust my path," you unlock a frequency that bends reality in your favor, because the moment you stop needing proof, the proof arrives. So breathe, slow down, and align. Stop trying to chase time, become timeless, because the flow of divine timing is not something you find, it's something you become. You are the flow, you are the rhythm, you are the divine timing expressing itself through form. There comes a point on every spiritual journey when you realize that the goal was never to master manifestation. It was to master yourself. To reach a state where peace is not the reward for getting what you want, but the foundation from which everything flows. This is the essence of surrendered living. Surrendered living is not about resignation. It's not about saying, "Whatever happens, happens," with bitterness in your heart. It's about stepping into a level of trust so profound that you no longer feel the need to negotiate with the universe. It's the state of flow where your desires and divine will are no longer separate. They are one. You stop fighting against life and begin dancing with it. When you live in surrender, every day becomes sacred. You start to see miracles not as rare events, but as the natural consequence of alignment. You wake up with calm purpose, knowing that your only task is to stay attuned to peace. You begin to live from the inside out, not reacting to circumstances, but creating from consciousness. It's a different kind of strength, the strength of one who no longer fears outcomes, because they've learned that every outcome serves their evolution. The strength of one who no longer begs for guidance, because they've learned that the quiet voice within is the guidance itself. And the strength of one who no longer clings to what must leave, because they trust that what departs is making space for what's divine. This is the vibration that changes everything. Because when you stop resisting life, life stops resisting you. The truth is, the universe is not separate from you. You are the universe expressing itself through human form, a current of divine intelligence moving through time and experience. When you live in surrender, you return to that truth. You stop seeing yourself as a small being trying to control a big world, and you begin to see that you are the world, that your inner energy is constantly shaping your external reality. This awareness is liberation. You no longer fear uncertainty. You flow with it. You no longer chase what's fleeting, you anchor in what's eternal. You no longer measure progress by how fast things happen, but by how deeply you remain in peace while they unfold. Surrendered living transforms ordinary moments into portals of presence. Washing the dishes becomes meditation. Driving becomes prayer. Speaking becomes creation. Every breath, every glance, every heartbeat becomes a participation in divine flow. It's the art of being fully alive, not in resistance, not in regret, but in rhythm with the now. When you reach this level of alignment, you realize that manifestation was never about getting anything. It was about remembering who you are, a creator, a vessel, a frequency. The external world stops being the source of your joy because you've found the source within. And from that place, everything you once desired begins to orbit around you naturally. You've probably noticed that when you chase peace, it runs, but when you become peace, it arrives. That's the essence of flow. It's not about pursuit, it's about presence. You can't chase what you already are. You can only allow it to reveal itself. Let's make this practical. How do you live in surrender every day? It begins with a choice. Every morning, before you step into the noise of the world, choose peace first. Place your hand on your heart and say, "Today I trust." Say it even when you don't fully feel it. Say it until your body believes it. That simple declaration becomes a magnetic signal to the universe. Next, practice what I call holy pauses. Throughout your day, stop for a few seconds and ask yourself, am I flowing or forcing? If you feel tension, slow down. If you feel resistance, breathe. If you feel pressure, remind yourself, what's meant for me cannot miss me. Surrendered living is a constant recalibration, a return to center again and again. It's not perfection, it's awareness. It's choosing alignment over anxiety, flow over fear, intuition over control. And here's a secret. Every time you choose surrender over struggle, you rewrite your energy blueprint. Your frequency becomes clearer, your magnetism stronger, your manifestations faster. Because now the universe can move through you unhindered. Think of your life as a river. When you fight the current, you tire yourself out and drift in circles. But when you release, the current carries you effortlessly to places you couldn't have planned. Surrender doesn't take you off your path. It is the path. To live surrendered is to understand that life is not happening to you, but through you. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a participant in divine design. You are co-creating with an intelligence that sees beyond your limited perspective. And every single thing, the joy, the delay, the loss, the breakthrough, is conspiring to expand you into your fullest self. Once you realize that, you stop judging the journey. You stop labeling moments as good or bad. You begin to see that everything is sacred because everything serves. That heartbreak taught compassion, that waiting taught patience, that uncertainty taught trust. And all of it shaped the vibration you carry today, the vibration that now attracts miracles. That's why the greatest manifestation technique isn't visualization or affirmations, it's surrender. Because surrender puts you in the same frequency as your higher self, the version of you that already lives in abundance, peace, and purpose. And when you live in that frequency, creation becomes inevitable. At this level of consciousness, prayer transforms too. You stop asking, "Please make this happen," and start saying, "Thank you for what's already unfolding." You stop praying from fear and start praying from remembrance. Prayer becomes not a request, but a recognition. It's not a conversation with the divine, it's a merging. Even your desires evolve. You no longer crave what feeds your ego, you crave what fulfills your soul. You no longer seek things for validation, but for expression. Your desires stop being about getting and start being about giving. How can I be a vessel for love, abundance, wisdom, healing? And because you're now aligned with the universal flow, those desires manifest effortlessly, because the universe supports what serves the whole. Living surrendered means you finally learned the sacred paradox of creation. You receive the most when you need the least. You manifest the fastest when you stop chasing. You rise the highest when you bow the deepest. In that humility, you touch grace. Grace is the silent power that moves mountains without effort. It's the unseen hand that opens doors without knocking. It's the flow of life carrying you home. So as you reach the end of this journey, this reflection, this transmission, I want you to remember something simple yet profound. You are safe to trust. You are safe to release. You are safe to flow. You are safe to stop fighting and finally rest in your own divine rhythm. Every breath, every silence, every delay has a purpose. Nothing has been wasted, not the waiting, not the wishing, not the wondering. It was all leading you here, to this knowing, this peace, this surrender. The journey was never about forcing the universe to give you what you wanted. It was about remembering that you and the universe were never separate to begin with. So now, take a deep breath. Close your eyes. Feel the pulse of life moving through you. That is God, the universe source creation, breathing you into existence. You are the vessel, you are the current, you are the flow. Whisper softly, I surrender, I trust, I flow. And in that simple act, your vibration aligns with everything you've ever desired. Because when you surrender completely, there is no more resistance, only harmony, only expansion, only love. Let go of the need to know how or when. Let go of the need to be certain. Let go of the idea that you must control what's already guided. The river of life knows its destination. Your only task is to allow yourself to be carried. This is the power of surrendered living. It's the art of being the flow, the mastery of presence, the peace that passes understanding. You are not here to struggle with creation. You are here to remember that you are creation. So breathe and allow. Everything you've asked for is already in motion. Everything you've dreamed of is already written, and everything that's meant for you is already yours, because the moment you surrendered, the universe said, finally.